All right, let's just get right to it. For the last few years, we've all been staring at the wrong thing when it comes to AI. We're completely hypnotized by the software, the cool models, the lines of code, but we're missing the real story. A silent, brutal, and purely physical war has already started. To really get this, we've got to go back, way back, to ancient Rome. Now, you had all the powerful people everyone saw, right? The senators, the generals, the philosophers, but there was one guy the emperor was secretly terrified of, the curator aquarum, the guardian of the water. See, Rome could handle a political scandal. They could even lose a battle. But if you cut off the water, the entire empire would collapse in 12 hours. The real power wasn't in the fancy temples. It was in the aqueducts. And guess what? We are making the exact same mistake today. We're over here debating the philosophy of large language models while totally ignoring the new aqueducts. This whole idea that AI lives in some magical, fluffy cloud, it might just be the greatest marketing trick of our time. There is no cloud. There are only factories, huge, power-hungry factories, and they're about to slam headfirst into a physical limit nobody saw coming. And this brings us to the central mystery we're unpacking here. Why on earth are the giants of tech spending $600 billion? That's basically the entire economy of Sweden, not to make smarter AI, but to buy up nuclear power plants. I'll tell you, it's not because they want to keep AI free and abundant for everybody. No, they're getting ready for what's coming. A kind of digital apartheid. To wrap your head around this, you kind of have to unlearn 20 years of how the internet is supposed to work. We've all been living by one fundamental rule, a rule that AI is about to absolutely shatter. For 2 decades, the internet has run on this magic trick called zero marginal cost. Once you make a piece of software or a song, making 1 million copies of it is essentially free. It's like a perfect photocopy machine. But AI doesn't play by those rules. We're leaving the era of photocopying and entering the era of forging, where every single thing is created from scratch, every single time. Let me make this super simple. When you search for a crepe recipe on Google, its servers just go and find information that already exists. It's like grabbing a book off a library shelf. But when you ask an AI to invent a recipe for you, it's not grabbing anything. It's firing up billions of parameters and doing insane calculations to generate every single word. It's not fetching the book, it's writing the book, right there, just for you. And the energy difference between those two things, it's not even close. It's colossal. That one single act of forging an AI response can chew through 10 to 30 times more electricity than a classic web search. The scale of this shift is just mind-boggling. And this super energy-hungry model is going to change everything. The old one-to-many system, Disney making one movie for 1 billion people, that's on its way out. Soon, your family might just generate a totally unique cartoon just for the evening. In business, that generic email newsletter is about to be replaced by an AI generating a unique video pitch for every single prospect. We're shifting from mass distribution to mass customization. Now, the ambition here is almost limitless, but physics has laws, and this beautiful dream of on-demand generation is crashing head-on into the unchangeable, unforgiving reality of the physical world. Let's talk about a number, 1 gigawatt. That's the power a single new generation AI data center is going to need. And look, a gigawatt isn't just a lot of power. It's enough to run an entire city like Marseille. It's the full output of a nuclear reactor. For one building? And here's the kicker. You can't just plug a city into a power strip. While AI demand is doubling every few months, building a new high-voltage power line with all the permits and construction takes about a decade. You've got an exponential curve meeting a flat line. And oh, it gets worse. To even connect these data centers to the grid, you need these giant transformers. Well, there are only a handful of companies on Earth that can build them, and their order books are already full until 2029. You could have all the money, all the chips, all the land you want, but you literally can't turn on the lights for 4 years. So, because of all these bottlenecks, the whole geography of AI is changing. Data centers are leaving the cities and moving to where the energy is stranded. Deserts, windy plains, near hydroelectric dams. AI is becoming an extractive industry, like mining for aluminum. We'll produce intelligence where electrons are cheap and just ship it out through fiber optic cables. But unlike aluminum, whoever controls the mine also controls the final product. And this is where the conversation stops being technical and starts being political. When a vital resource becomes scarce, it gets rationed, and rationing always creates winners and losers. Look, this isn't about being evil, it's just economic physics. The big tech players aren't just building data centers, they're signing 20-year energy contracts and buying the power plants themselves. They are locking down the future supply. This isn't an investment, it's hoarding. And what's left for everyone else isn't a free market, it's whatever scraps fall off the table. This is creating two completely different classes. In Tier 1, you have sovereign AI users, the military, the huge banks, the Fortune 500. They won't be paying per query, they'll be signing massive contracts for reserved guaranteed capacity. Their AI will always be on. Then you have Tier 2, the intermittent AI users. That's going to be small businesses, startups, most international firms. They'll get the leftovers. And during peak hours, their AI will be throttled, degraded, or maybe just paused. So this means the biggest competitive advantage of the next decade isn't going to be a better algorithm. It's going to be a piece of paper, a service level agreement, an SLA, that contractually guarantees your company's brain won't get switched off when the grid is strained. So what do, right? Do we just sit around and wait for someone else to decide if our business gets to exist today? No, we change the strategy, and we do it now. Here are 4 rules. 4 rules to make sure you don't end up in that second tier, waiting around for permission to think. Okay, let's break this down. First, secure your capacity. Ditch the pay-as-you-go model. That flexibility is actually a huge weakness when things get scarce. You need long-term contracts for guaranteed access. Second, go hybrid. Sure, use the big, powerful cloud models when you have to, but for your daily operations, run smaller, open-source models on your own hardware. Think of it as your own personal backup generator for your company's brain. Third, sell certainty. Your new value proposition isn't just about a cool product, it's about reliability. Make your guaranteed uptime the core of your pitch. And finally, diversify geographically. Relying 100% on infrastructure in just one country is a massive risk. Spread your resources around. This isn't about patriotism, it's just smart risk management. In the end, 2,000 years later, nothing's really changed. We've replaced water with electrons and aqueducts with fiber optics, but the law of survival is the same. Civilization doesn't depend on its thinkers, it depends on its plumbers. And today, the new guardians of the water have names we all recognize. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, NVIDIA. They're the ones who decide who drinks and who goes thirsty. Which really just leaves one final question for you. In the world that's arriving much faster than we think, are you going to own your pipes, or are you going to be one of the people standing there, waiting, thirsty, for someone else to decide when to open the tap?